Yeah, you wanna put that dish in your mouth.
Wish you could slide into my mind and make me mine. Push play rewind. Let's whip outside, and so am I.
Good evening, everyone. It's early evening here. My name is Dylan V. Dickerson White. I'm Mr. Trans USA 2022, and today we're going to be chatting with our new Miss Trans Ohio 2023, Jessley Dawson, and I'm going to bring her in and have her introduce herself to you. Hi, Jessley.
Hi.
So, well, we've been chatting a little bit for a few months now with just trying to get everything ready for the pageant, and I've gotten to know you a little better. A lot of people may not know you or be familiar with you, so I'd just like to have you tell everybody about yourself.
Yeah, I have known who I was since I was 3 years old. I'm very outgoing. I love being around people. I love performing drag shows. I'm a very type of person that works behind the scenes. I don't like being out in the public a lot when I'm doing advocating, because in a way, for me, I feel like when you advocate and you try to get that attention or take pictures and be pretty much advertising that you're doing it, in a way, for me, it feels like it doesn't come from the heart. Where if I'm doing it behind the scenes and stuff like this, it's kind of, whenever I come into a room, I'm always introducing myself. Hey, my name's Jessley. My pronouns are she, her. I'm doing it because I'm advocating and trying to make a difference in the workplace and hospitals and many other places. I mean, I'm one where I've dealt with trauma my life, but I don't let the negativity of that trauma hold me down, because I could grow and overcome all this. And I feel like as a trans community as a whole, we need to love and cherish one another and uplift one another, not let these negative things that are thrown at us every day keep us down or even bother us. We need to learn to come together as one and uplift one another and be supportive of one another.
I mean, you have hit the nail on the head, and so that's kind of one of the things I wanted to ask you. You know, you say you have a lot of experience doing things behind the scenes, working without wanting any recognition. So and when we talk about Trans USA, it is a very public sort of title. So what made you interested in this side of things?
The reason why I was showed interest is because I want to get out of being behind the scenes and doing it actually in the public. But at the same time, I just want to be able to take a chance to kind of be on a bigger stage to advocate. Because all the time that I have been doing it behind the scenes, I've been wanting to get out in the public. It's actually one of the reasons why I want to do this pageant, is to showcase that this younger generation, that no matter how many people may doubt you or how many people think you might not be able to do something, I want to prove to them and show them that if you sit there and stick with what you want in life and want to sit there and be able to be proud of who you are, not just during Pride, but all year round, that you can do anything that you want to achieve. Just put your mind to it and you can achieve anything.
I mean, that's pretty much one of the things we try to emphasize too, is that we're acting as role models for the younger generation here. We're on this stage showing them that, you know, that there's this thing called trans excellence, and it's something that we've kind of been promoting all year. So that's a phrase that, like, a lot of people have a different meaning for that, and I'm sure you've seen things, but on your end, what would you say that means for you?
Trans excellence means that you go above and beyond things. Like, it's just like, for instance, there's a saying that I normally go by, and it's, when there is no sunshine, you got to be the sunshine. Basically, going with that no matter when negative things are around, it's just like the sun keeps shining no matter how many clouds there is. That, for me though, trans excellence is shown that no matter what, even within the negative situations, or even times where we may deal with our own mental health or gender dysphoria, that we may overcome it and still be able to live our true authentic selves, but at the same time be happy while doing it.
Exactly. And so, I mean, I don't want to do this. If you do not feel you're not comfortable answering this question, that's fine. But you're talking about turning, negatives into positives. Can you it doesn't have to be a big one, but can you give me an example of something that you've done in your life that you've turned something negative to positive?
I've actually done more than one of them. Shoot, I'm sorry.
It's okay. You don't have
During work incidents, when I've gotten misgendered, I could have thrown in a towel and easily left that place. Instead, I chose to continue going on to work and not letting what things were going around affect my work, nor affect me as an individual. Because in the long run, I know who I am as an individual, but I cannot sit here let what everybody else says kind of get me down. And there's been some times where it got to the point where things were said from management level about me being trans. But going with that is, I can't let that negative surround me, kind of get me down into the dumps, because, and I'm not trying to go off subject, but it's just so many of we have lost, and it's just like with it just being Transgender Day of Remembrance that just came up Sunday. We cannot let that what happens, because it could be any one of us that goes through it, but we got to sit here, keep a positive mindset as we are keeping our light shine no matter what. And with that, not just keeping our light shine, but others as well.
Right. And I think that's one of the big things we talk about when we try to do Trans Day of Remembrance is we're not just remembering the people we've lost, we're remembering why we're here, why we're fighting, why we're continuing to do this. And it's been a very difficult thing. I'm sure we all had this weekend, and I just really glad you're still be able to meet with me and talk, even though it's been a very difficult situation for a lot of people. And I think having you able to say these things right now and be like, hey, we still need to have this light shining. We're still here, and we're going to still be there for each other. And I think that you being here and doing this right now is really just a big testament to that. And so thank you. I really appreciate it.
Thank you.
And I think that while we've been talking about some heavy things, one of the more fun questions, like I do ask people, because it's not necessarily like one of those big questions, that pageants always ask, but it's always been interesting to see who gets the answers and who so if you could say there's a pet peeve you have, and it doesn't have to be anything big, like in life, what would it be? I mean, mine, I will tell you, is clipping toenails and fingernails. I can't stand the sound and I have to leave the room. So
one of my pet peeves that I know is it's just like not having, I wouldn't really say, but it's just spiders overall and bugs, because it's just
no, trust me. I my husband, the spiders thing, he once jumped out a moving car because there's a spider in it. Like, does not do spiders at all. So I'm completely aware. I will be the one to go have to kill things. So we're good if we see any spiders at nationals. Trust me. So I think that I read in your bio that we didn't hear, like, you are going to go back to school to be a mental health tech. Is that what was on the game plan, or did you have something different in mind?
No, that's still the plan to go forward, is to be a mental health tech, because I feel like not saying that we don't already have people that's in that field, but we don't have enough of them, because and the reason why I want to do mental health tech, and it's just like I was explaining this to so many, it's that I feel that if I can go into this mental health tech, and it's just like, even on the days that I've had bad, I've experienced both sides of being in somewhere and outside of it. And it's just like, I feel with me being in there, I could be able to be someone that they can connect to when I first come through them doors. If they see another LGBTQ individual, or it'll be anyone within the LGBTQ or trans community or non-gender conforming or non-binary. If they come through them doors and I see that there's someone like me that's being treated respectfully, they don't have to worry or be afraid of the fact of being judged or not having someone to be there. Because another thing is I want to be able to be that voice for them to let them know, hey, everything's all right. I'm here. If you need me to talk, I said, and just let them know that, reassure them that everything, that they're in good hands.
And I think that's a really important thing to hit on too in mental health, is because if you already see that somebody's like you, you're going to tell them more things. You're going to be more open with them. You're going to feel more comfortable sharing things you wouldn't want to share with somebody else that's outside the community. Like, I think that in mental health, you have to realize being able to bridge that gap and being with somebody like, okay, you understand my experience, so I don't have to go through all of this explaining. I can just tell you like what's going on. So I think being there in that respect. Did you have any specific programs you were looking at, or is this like a down the road sort of goal?
This is actually a career field that I'm looking to go into. But I will be going to Sinclair for just like their mental health tech. But then as well, I do plan on going back for RN and going back for even further education with psychology and all this to kind of have a more broader span to work with.
Yeah. I want to say that you had chosen a charity to represent during this round. And so what we don't, people may not know with Trans USA is that we're introducing an Outstanding Advocate Award, which means that the person who has done the most, whether it doesn't have to be financial, just done the most to support and uplift and get visibility for the charity they have chosen, will receive a special award at the end. And we really have done this to also not highlight only our contestants, but the organizations they've worked with throughout their reign. And so I feel that you have chosen one, and I wanted to ask what that was and why you chose it.
Yeah, it's a local support group, and they even do charity. Their main goal and purpose is to be able to go within just outside of Ohio, go into other states as well, and set up these support groups. And it's actually known as the Gatling Dane group, which is a non-binary, non-gender conforming, and transgender support group. But the whole purpose with this is to kind of educate the public out there with the pronouns, using correct pronouns, how to treat somebody within the LGBTQ, and it kind of even goes further into like educating even helping parents out with their child who's just coming out. It kind of helps them be able to learn and more be around others that are or have been through things or can better answer their questions or kind of help them out. We even have allies in there, which are the moms and stuff like that. But this support group means more because it's a support group that is within Dayton and a better broad span for people who are going through things can go there to be able to learn something and be around others and be in a safe space.
I think that's maybe a little bit of a topic that we kind of should touch on. Since the holidays are fast approaching, do you have maybe a message you'd want to send to some people if they are having trouble with the holidays emotionally and family-wise right now?
Yeah, I just want to say is, once again, stay positive. You got this. You're doing amazing. For someone to come out and be proud and even identify, even if you may not be out of the closet yet, I mean, still be proud of yourself. Don't ever feel down. And for the ones that may not have that family that's accepting, I'm here for you. I mean, I'm very supportive. If you ever want to, don't be hesitant to reach out. I'm here for you. I know how it is to be hard during these seasons, but there's a lot of greater out of these seasons. The season, and especially the holidays. It's because we can become together as one and only come together stronger. Because when we're there, again, and I'm speaking of it, is when we come together as one, or even simply sit there and reach out for these ones that may not have families. We all are family as one individual. We have each other. And I love every one of you. And don't be discouraged because, again, you can always reach out and talk to me.
So I think that in saying that, um, if I were to give you, let's say, $10,000, I do not have $10,000, by the way, I really don't. But if I were to give you $10,000 to put towards any cause or specific like program you want to start, what would you do with it?
I would actually, if I had 10,000, I would put it one towards some of these support groups and some of these programs like the Trevor Project, because I want to see some of these grow and flourish and only get better to helping people within the LGBTQ. At the same time, I would like to try to set up support groups where there ain't support groups, just to kind of be able to help set a foundation within the community. Also, try to even get some of these programs in like homeless shelters where they have better understanding and even set up things within them so that they have an area foundation as well to where they may be able to help somebody that's trans, or so that we're not having to feel like we're out of place, so that we feel like we have people to be able to go to where they may set up. Once again, like I said, there's a support group within the homeless shelter just to kind of help things out, kind of make it easier even in the tough times.
Yeah. No, like you're right. There's so much, and I know $10,000. It seems like a lot, but you're like, oh wait, there's really, you have all these ideas, and you realize that that's a big level of support that we hopefully we get one day. But I think that since we're running towards the end here, I think that I want to end on like a little bit of a lighter, more positive note. So we always talk about the things that are really, really hard and really going wrong, and as people who in the community are advocates, and we want to always look for that next fight, that next big thing we want to change. But what about what do you think is going right for our community? What's going right? What are the good things?
I will say what's going right with our community is whenever something does happen or we do come under attack, we do come together as one. We come together and get together with one another and uplift one another and still let each other know they are loved. As a community, at the same time, we always stand our ground. We are always proud of who we are. Where none of us are ashamed. And it's just like even if one of us go through a situation, one of many others in a group within LGBTQ and trans community, non-gender and non-binary, we always let each other know that keep up the fight. Keep up doing what you're doing because you've made it this far. Don't give up.
You wanna put that dish in your mouth?
Hello, my name is Jessley Dawson. I'm your current Miss Trans Ohio 2023. One of the major things I strive for, and as I was asked, what does trans excellence mean to me? It means sitting here trying to be the best person you can, no matter what, even within the struggles. I know even the bigots, when they misgender us, dead name us, or even law enforcement, or even mental health providers. I want to sit here and be able to break barriers and sit here and be the advocate for our community. I'm a very open transgender, but at the same time, I'm proud to be. And I will never change anything about me. One thing also I've learned is sometimes we need to sit here looking the good of others, even when sometimes they may be bad and wrong, or many people might not understand us. As one that has dealt with mental health and being hospitalized in a mental health or behavioral units, I have broken that barrier to where people understand and respect trans more, simply because of me going in there and being able to change the whole atmosphere. One of my major things that I try to live for is standing out like a sore thumb. I'd rather be different and unique, but in a good way, not a bad way. At the same time, I've been in the homeless shelters. I've been in many places, where even living on the streets, have had many occasions happen over the course of my journey. But no matter what, I stay strong and steadfast and resilient. I have even uplifted many others around me that have been going through the same thing I have. I plan on going back to school for RN and mental health tech to try to break that barrier and be more of an advocate within our community. I plan on even opening up a homeless shelter for LGBTQIA plus, so we can have a safe place to be able to go instead of going into regular shelters. I plan on trying to do my best during my reign and even go further and push myself further to greatness. Or even better yet, trans excellence within the community. One thing I love about the LGBTQ community is we always bounce back and we always are there for one another when something bad goes happen. Within the state of Ohio, the state bird is cardinal, which means that the dead ones are always there whenever a cardinal is around. I want to see there be delight for the ones we lost, and to always have a reminder to encourage me to continue on and be the light that they was or didn't get to be yet. I want to even make a difference by sitting there, keeping their names alive and keeping their fight alive. And during my reign as Miss Trans Ohio, I plan on trying to break more barriers, even change some things around in Ohio to sit here and make things better for our transgenders living in the state of Ohio. I'm your current Miss Trans Ohio 2023, Jessley Dawson.
Yeah, you wanna put that dish in your mouth.